Hello again. So, back in it. What is there to do? Oh! I didn't notice this before. What a cool coat. Korojev jacket. Oh. It gives me +2 logic, so... well, +1 logic. And I need the logic. Hey, Kim.
Yes?
Okay. Let's talk to some more people. Oh? The street sign is illegible below the graffito. Hard to see the details. The colors all warm and welcoming, cozy enough. A flower through where nothing really grows, maybe in spring. Oh, hi. What? Hello, little girl. It would be rude to just come in and not talk to you.
Hello, mister.
A young girl, barely 4 or 5 years old, sits on the sofa. She is looking at you with frank curiosity.
She clutches a small stuffed animal. Occasionally, she twirls it around.
What's that thing you're holding?
It's Lammy. He's my friend. Sort of. Like...
She holds the fuzzy beast up to demonstrate.
Lambie is a stuffed lamb that, admittedly, has seen better days. One of the eye buttons is missing, and the fur is tattered in several parts.
Oh, okay. Well, pleased to meet you, Lambie.
Lammy usually doesn't like strangers. But you're also fuzzy, like Lammy.
I heard there was a girl here who has armored gloves. Is that you?
Oh, I had gloves. Very big ones. Heavy, too.
Where did you get these gloves?
Found them when Lemmy and I were playing hide and seek. In an empty house. Where no one lives. I think someone hid them there.
She doesn't want you to think she stole them.
And where are the gloves now?
I hid them. The twins were gonna take them. They're stupid.
She lifts her stuffed toy up and looks into its one remaining eye, as though searching for confirmation.
We're going to need those gloves. It's for important police business.
He enunciates the last 2 words carefully.
Oh.
She doesn't seem to understand, but the lieutenant's tone has conveyed to her the important part.
They're in my sandcastle. Behind our house. Under the sand. You can break the castle. It's not very good.
Do you know anyone named Ruby?
Luby. Raluby.
Suddenly, the girl gets all serious and leans in as if she's about to tell you a secret.
My mom tells me I'm a big girl. But she doesn't know that I can't say Earl. Or sometimes I can. But then Uller.
Kids.
The lieutenant shakes his head. Are you Lillian's daughter?
Yes, I am. Little Lily. You know my mom?
Yes, we met earlier.
That's nice. My mom is great. She's never angry or anything.
What's that? Point at the stuffed bird hanging from the ceiling.
It's a grouse.
She yelps, smiling broadly.
You might be able to get on Gart's good side if you replace the broken skewer you almost certainly broke.
Yes, but what is it for?
I don't know.
Can I have it? I know someone who really likes stuffed birds.
Sure, just go and get it. I don't like it anyway. It looks angry.
Oh.
All right. You just need to grab it from the ceiling and go.
Goodbye.
Bye!
Bird! Industrial coal pellets burn with an orange glow. Nothing to see here. A sand castle.
Weather has not been kind to Lily's little sandcastle. The once mighty towers are quickly eroding away. You can see something shining back to you from what must have been a vast underground catacomb network.
Reach in the catacombs and pull out the shiny object.
The walls and floors give way to the giant's greed, collapse and present you with a pair of ceramic gauntlets.
Congratulations. That's the gauntlets down then. We're doing good on the armor collection front.
Nice. Ooh. Cool.
As you fold your fingers into a fist, you realize you could knock anyone out with one punch. The white ceramic gloves wrap around your digits comfortably.
I will be responsible with this. This is just to protect me from harm, not to show off.
The hardened vitreous enamel, at once sleek and voluptuous, adds a glow to your cheeks and a spring to your step. Just imagine what a full suit of this stuff could do for you. You really do feel more confident. Invulnerability does that. Even partial invulnerability.
One down, 2 pieces to go. Here I come.
2? Are you sure you're correct there? There was a helmet too. 3 pieces more like. You were ambitious.
What's this? Can I not interact with this? Oh, weird. What about this? Rust-eaten letters read Mazout. The rear tire of the motor carriage adorns those reeds. There's a slit in the concrete here. A sewer? Oh, the church. Let's speak to the people over there first. Relax, it's not yours. You didn't crash every MC in Revachol, hopefully. Oh, we have to ask the lady about the bullet. Let's do that.
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at night. What can I help you with?
Why was there a bullet under the floorboards of your shack?
Damn that girl.
She murmurs softly.
And without anger, a long and harsh life has taught her not to buckle under pressure.
Bullet?
The lieutenant turns to you and gives you a little nod, then turns to the washerwoman.
You didn't put it there, did you? She did.
Gone and hid things in there? She's usually a good tenant, and not a stupid one either.
You rented the room to her.
Yes, I let my room to that Ruby girl.
She speaks slowly, bringing out a rag after a long silence. Her hands move into the water bucket. Some water sloshes over the edge.
As I've done before when she's been in trouble or just looking for solitude. I've made it clear. We welcome all kinds of people here.
When was this?
She came last Friday, left on Monday in a hurry. What has she gotten herself into, that girl?
She seems genuinely worried about her previous tenant. She's seen her hiding out from trouble before. But this seems different.
That's for the police to find out. Right then. Please answer each question to the best of your ability. I'm sure we have a few.
You said she left on Monday.
Yes, early with the dogs, around 8 o'clock, I think.
Is the room exactly as she left it?
I cleaned it, like I always do.
Was there anything else there?
No,
The truth, sire.
What is she like, Ruby?
she's good company. Knows how to talk to an old woman. At my age, you don't get a lot of quality conversation. So I really appreciate that about her.
Did she talk to you much during her last stay?
No, she was mostly silent this time. Kept to herself.
What do you mean?
She tried not to let it show, but I could tell she hadn't come to fish. Usually she likes to cast a few lines, but this time she mostly stayed in her room.
Why do you think she left the bullet there?
How would I know? She's a gruff one, but not violent. She doesn't go around toting a gun.
She looks back toward her shack, thinking.
You could ask her about your hunch, that it was a desperate measure. See if she thinks Ruby fits the bill.
I have a possible explanation in my mind.
Aye. Do tell.
It's an exit plan.
Exit from what?
This. Spread your hands.
The lieutenant stops writing for a moment. He looks at you, then at the old woman.
No, she's a fighter.
Not a quitter, like you sometimes get, son. She really believes that.
Did she have any technical equipment with her, like radio stuff?
Not that I know of, though she was into nice music. She once showed me a few mixtape milieux she'd made.
She brushes her forehead with the back of her hand. Water drips to the ground.
Although I guess she was pretty handy with the mechanical and technical stuff. Even fixed the heater in the shack. You should be thankful for that.
She may simply have kept the equipment elsewhere.
Where did she go?
I don't know. Further up the coast. She tried to leave quietly, but the hinges on that door screeched like a cat in heat. Woke me up. I heard her rushing in those heavy boots, heading up north. You'll never find her, you know. She knows the coast like the back of her hand. You only just arrived.
I wouldn't worry about that, ma'am. We are persistent.
Further up the coast we go then.
Are you sure you'd rather stay here? Get a nice cozy fire going in the heater? Seems like a better idea to me.
No, you can do it. You still have plenty of juice in you before you drop. Behind the cinder block houses, old pre-war ruins rise to the sky like dark palaces. The wind calls.
What is in this fishing village?
Just us. It's barely a village anymore. We almost don't exist.
What do you mean?
This is pretty much a non-place. A gap. A blank spot on the map. Just a cluster of nameless shacks on a nameless street.
Is there a way to make little money around here?
Here? For you? No, officer. The only money we have here is some coins the drunks tried hiding from their women and then forgot about.
Under carts, boats, in little boxes. It's not hard to find. She
Alright.
nods, rinsing another piece of cloth.
What's further down the coast?
Not much. There's the abandoned church, the DeLorean Church of Humanity. It's been there since before my time, even.
Why is it abandoned?
Some things just don't fly, officer. Look around. Who'd go to church here? They built it 300 years ago. Must have been nicer then.
So, they don't hold services there anymore? The Ecclesiastes?
No, we've tried, but things just keep happening. Crime, accidents, other things. The place never stays open. It's a pity. It used to be such a nice church.
She's not telling you all she knows. Keep her talking.
What else is down is on down coast.
Before you get to the church, there's some ruins, an apartment complex, or some kind of electrical plant. Run-down bunch of houses, empty.
Which is it then? Apartments or electrical plant?
I don't know exactly. A pre-war place. It used to be something. Before the war. I wasn't here then, you know. Was born in Samara.
Anything else of note?
Of note? The old fish market up on the boardwalk. But it's closed.
Who'd want to come to a fish market here?
No one. That's why it's closed. It was once a bustling place, back when I was young, and so was everyone else. Now, what catch we do bring in goes straight into a lorry for the Delta or somewhere else.
That's it? There's got to be more along the coast.
What? You're one of those real estate people with big plans? If you want a development opportunity, you can check out the abandoned building over at Land's End. Used to be a supply depot, we think, sending goods and ammo across the bay. It's jammed shut though. We tried to get in, see if there was anything to sell or scavenge, but it's impossible. And now you know everything there is to know about this coast.
Tell me about yourself. Who exactly are you here?
Me? No one. Just an old washerwoman. Mother called me Isabel, if that's what you're asking. And my married name is Sadie. Now it's your turn, Mr.
Lieutenant W. Freighter Harrier Dubois.
Quite a handle you got there. So many titles. One of them double.
She's got a couple of ranks herself. Honored chief and so on.
One thing, officer. If you do find her, please go easy on her.
She looks around. The air is getting colder.
She really means it. It's an honest plea.
She's a good girl. Whatever she's gotten herself mixed up in.
Kids?
The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone. He can't be more than 5 years old. The other one looks indistinguishable from him. He watches his brother kick the stone with his tongue lolling out of his mouth.
Is little Lily your sister?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You must be Lillian's twins.
This one doesn't say anything, kicking the concrete with his worn-out sneaker.
Lily's our mum.
Explains the other one, tongue still lolling out of his mouth. I already said that.
The stone kicker laughs suddenly. His head is too large for his shoulders. The other one laughs as well. Maybe there's some kind of reason why they're laughing. An interesting reason, somehow tied to the case.
What are you laughing about?
The boy stops laughing and looks at his toes. Oh, okay. So now he's shy. Now he's not talking. Just wobbling around like he's afraid of something.
Kids, have you seen any bad people around?
What bad people?
One of the twins looks up, his mouth slightly open.
I don't think questioning 4-year-olds without their parents present is gonna crack the case.
Then we're definitely doing it.
You guys look identical.
The stone-kicking one becomes frantic all of a sudden, as if that's something to be scared of. The obvious fact that you just stated.
He looks just like me.
The other one says. Yeah, I said that.
The boy doesn't answer. His brother throws another rock. Both of their hair is covered in some kind of dirt. The rock kicker was just being shy, but now he's enthusiastic again.
You're bad with kids.
And what are you, Kid Master General?
Maybe I am.
He grins.
Now, how about some actual police work? We are not getting anything here.
Bye, kids. Take care.
Hey, tequila!
A 30-something man clad in a two-piece Lycra TM tracksuit puts down his pilsner and extends his hand in greeting.
Good to see you. How's business? How's the whole reality situation treating you?
Shake his hand.
So what's happening?
He picks up his beer. Wait, tequila?
Yeah, Tequila Sunset. How are the, high-concept, reality-based adventures proceeding?
Good. These people know your true name. Looks like it has preceded you, Mr. Sunset. More on that later.
Don't know. People tell me I'm a cop. I'm getting used to that.
It's good to hear that you're on top of things. Talking about used to, did you know that I used to be a real mover and shaker? Sadly, things aren't going that well in Idiot Doom Spiral Land. Haven't found those keys yet, haven't won that great piece of ass back. No word from my business buddies.
He takes a sip from his beer.
This guy's your buddy. You feel it immediately. You belong to an organization, a fraternity of drunks.
Have you seen a red-haired woman named Ruby around here lately?
Can't really remember seeing any women after losing my keys.
It's a touchy topic. He hasn't got laid in ages. He really has no idea who this Ruby is, sire.
What do you guys do around here?
We are saving the world.
He looks at his comrades.
Please don't go. Don't go.
Begs the man in the pipe.
Okay, we're drinking. We're drinking alcohol. That's what we're doing. I tried to save the world once, a long time ago, with enterprise, creativity, and willpower. But that didn't work out. So now, it's a pirate's life for me.
What is a tequila sunset? You keep saying it.
It's you. Your Tequila Sunset.
How do you know this?
We've met before. Don't you remember?
No?
Aha. Do you want to know how Tequila Sunset came to be?
Tequila Sunset. Something ominous there.
Go ahead.
Let me take a sip to moisten up my chords. Tequila Sunset rolled into Martinaise last Friday. And by Tequila Sunset, I mean you. The man, the myth.
Was I alone?
Hey, let's not jump ahead of ourselves. This is your story. Stop interrupting.
He takes another sip, then continues.
You got here on Friday to solve a case, hoping to be the early bird who gets the worm. And by the worm, I mean the buzz. Because as far as I know, all you did was get piss drunk. Word on the street is you went around the local hostel telling people that you're a police officer, and that it would be really fucked up if you shot yourself in the head, right in front of them. That's pretty high concept, if you ask me.
Oh yeah, that's totally your style. The lieutenant's brow is furrowed. He's listening as casually as he can.
Oh yeah, not the first time this comes up.
Hey man, I'm not judging. This life's a valley of woes. Some of the highest concept people in history have killed themselves. And been drunks. Either way, it was a late Saturday night when we, the Union of Moribund Alcoholics, got our drink on. Nothing remarkable about this, we get our drink on 24/7. Makes everything warm and glowy. I trust you know the feeling. One moment we hear the sound of a motor carriage revving up somewhere on the plaza, followed by a series of dings and bangs. Naturally, loud noises pique the interest of anybody owning a pair of ears. That's just the reality we're in.
Naturally.
Anyway, there was a brief silence. A gasp of silence, if you will. Followed by a real commotion. We heard the carriage careening towards the coast at top speed. Sounded like someone jumped the canal. We grabbed our brewskis and rushed to the jetty. Never underestimate the speed of an alcoholic. What we saw was a sight to behold. A beat-up police carriage containing you. Right there on the beach. You revved the engine and screamed at the top of your lungs, "The time hath come!" So, naturally, being the curious cat I am, I asked what time hath come. To which you replied, "The time hath come for tequila sunset, the end of all things."
Oh god, what happened next?
Your reality contracted. You jammed the pedal, plowed right off the jetty, and through the ice.
Your hands cramp on the steering levers.
We ran towards the ice, whilst you crawled your way out, miraculously unhurt, covered in seaweed and shit, like some kind of sea monster. When we finally got there, you were sitting on the beach crying. You said that your badge and uniform were in the car. It was too late to get in there, though. The carriage had sunk too deep. Recognizing a brother in need, we offered our condolences and invited you to party with us, which you naturally agreed to. We asked about the whole tequila sunset thing, and you told us it was your name now and insisted that we all call you that from then on.
My real name is Harry.
No, that's just what your mother called you. Your real name is Tequila Sunset. Just embrace it, brother.
How long did we party for?
Hours. It was an all-night drink-a-thon. Then, at some point, I think it was Sunday morning, you got belligerent and wanted to talk about Revacholian women. How they're beautiful and also whores and so on. How one of them fucked you real bad. After a short while, you crossed the event horizon, looked sullen, got up, and left without saying anything.
Wow, that's quite a story.
It sure is, man.
Yeah, I bet Tequila's a fucking legend around the precinct. You must be proud to work with him.
If you only knew.
Did I mention losing anything else?
Beside your gun and your badge? You said something about your hope or heart or something. To be honest, the details are a little hazy. In retrospect, I guess you lost your motor carriage too? That's a big one.
Did I say anything about my colleagues?
You told us that they were a bunch of fucking losers whose main interest was cramping your style.
It's more like you were cramping theirs.
No specifics, though. It was more about you that night. You were the star of the show.
Did I tell you anything specific about this person that fucked me?
You were pretty vague about it, but you kept saying you got fucked real hard, and that we've all been fucked too.
Please, don't open that door.
Oh god.
No one's fucked me. I do the fucking around here.
Abigail!
It seemed pretty painful, to be honest with you. If I had to guess, I'd say you're still working through some shit.
Okay, I don't need to hear anymore.
It's a hard thing for a man to confront his past. That's why I avoid mine at all costs.
Bye.
You too, Tequila Sunset.
Grumbles an unshaven man with a ruddy nose. He narrows his eyes at you as if in recognition, then turns his head away.
Don't you call her? Yeah! Don't call Abigail!
No.
The dozing man mumbles something inaudible.
What about you?
Good to see you, friend. Do I have deals set up for you, buddy boy?
He spreads his arms as if wanting to embrace you. What are you talking about?
So what do you want? I got smokes. They're cheap. Very cheap. I got Pilsner. Great deal. You won't get a better deal on that piss. Spirits I can let go for 300 real. I also have speed. And by speed, I mean amphetamine.
Why does the bottle of spirits cost 300 real?
See, friend, it's real valuable. Worth every real, if you catch my drift. Got it from a bit of a business venture.
No one can buy spirits for a 300 real. That's crazy.
You know what's crazy, actually?
He grins, then bursts out laughing, then takes 3 gulps of his pilsner and stares at you intently. What is it?
What?
What do you mean, what? What did you think was crazy earlier?
This guy.
He says and shakes his index finger at you.
Conversation might bring a discount, no?
Okay, can I just get the spirits if that's okay with you?
Sure. The spirits. Now, what did I say the price was again?
3 real.
Oh, aye. Exactly. I remember now. I remember what was so crazy. 3 real? That's a real steal for such good stuff.
It's almost too easy, haggling with incoherent drunks.
Quite the business venture you've set up here.
Oh. The system's been good to old Rosemary here, and I'm milking her like a bitch goat in the backyard.
What do you mean?
You see, friend, man makes his own luck, and I made mine real good. Got my hands on 3 bottles of liquor exquise, sold 2 to the fellows around here, and immediately invested the profit. Bought cigarettes, bought beer, even bought a bit of speed. And look at me now. I got everyone on my hook.
Looks like you're on your own hook too.
Of course. It is what it is, you know. What it's always been. People, buddy boy. It's the people.
I'm off.
In the civilized world, it's a custom to tip the shopkeep, friend. But come back anyway.
He waves you off. Why can't I move here? Someone has left their music collection beneath the tarpaulin. How do I get in there? Oh, there we go. The swing is missing. No one's been here for a long time. Tape, smallest church in Saint-Saëns. Can I use karaoke for this? Like, karaoke to this? The tape you found from a shack on the coast. The A-side has smallest church in Saint-Saëns written on it, while the B-side is supposed to contain the instrumental version. Requires a boombox to play. Where's my boombox? Where the hell is my Okay, Jesus Christ, I was afraid for a second there.
The porter reel is just what you needed. The reel's attached to the apparatus with a satisfying click. The tape is routed behind the magnetic reader.
Press play on the tape.
You press the large button marked Commencer, and the tape starts spinning. There's a small delay before the song starts playing.
Press your ear against the speaker.
It sounds like someone's moving in the room, getting comfortable. Then the organ starts playing a simple, melancholic tune echoing in the hallway. A lone singing voice joins in, telling you about the tiniest church in Cessons, surrounded by even tinier yard. You almost feel the seaside mist on your skin. It's mega sad. Within seconds you know, this is the one. The real shit you've been looking for. The one you trust your room to that Claudia told you about. Perform it. A click. Then silence for a bit. Then the tape stops spinning.
Could I sing this for karaoke? I think I could sing this.
Of course you could sing this. You could take sad to a whole new level with this. And you already know the lyrics since you've listened to it like a million times. And the B-side of the tape contains the instrumental version. It's like the world itself is telling you to do it. Only one obstacle stands on your way.
Nothing can stop me now.
Gart, you have to convince Gart to let you sing karaoke in the whirling. After you've won him over, you can express yourself. Let the pain out. Make everyone understand. The lieutenant looks at you as you remove the tape from the boombox. He doesn't say anything.
Yes. Hell yes. I'm gonna sing the fuck out of that karaoke. The wind is corralled by the 4-story buildings around this yard. Glory, says the graffito, to the ghosts of us. Money. Money. Not much to see here, huh? Ooh. So much shit. These heavy military blockades are riddled with bullet holes, crumbling. These soggy logs smell of ignition fluid. Still, they won't light up. It's almost impossible to get a fire going this near the ocean. What? A buoy bobs in the water. The number on it says 11.
That patch of reeds over there, it's a great place to hide something. Kind of out of the way, being so close to the water.
Wait, I can't see anything interesting.
You don't have a reason to. Yet.
What is this about?
Nothing. Just a hunch. The hunch passes, leaving you there, by the old boy bobbing in the water. Time to go.
Strange. Tiny cages, carefully constructed.
Here we go. Nice and easy. No way out, little guys. Not out of this jam.
There's a cylinder on the ground in which the man is arranging some netting. It looks like some kind of trap. He notices you.
Who's there? Oh, the police. Hello, officers.
His self-conscious enthusiasm renders his movements ungainly. He looks like your understanding of a scientist.
Is that the police? Why are the police here?
Don't worry, Gary. I'll handle it.
You must be Morel, the cryptozoologist.
To what do I owe the pleasure?
Lena sent me. She's been really worried about you and is waiting for you to get back.
Of course. Thank you for passing along the message. That damn water lock is broken, and we can't go all the way around the 881.
The water lock's been fixed. It was fine when I crossed it.
Oh, good. We should really be getting back. Gary could use a hot shower and a warm bed.
Did he say we can go back now?
Yes, Gary. We can go soon. If you see Lena, tell her I won't be long.
Sir, your wife is waiting for you.
I just have to do one more round. See if the phasmid has taken the bait. Then we're going.
He refastens a bit of netting that has come loose in the wind.
For all his passion, this man is diligent and patient. You could learn things from him.
I'm looking for a suspect. Have you seen a woman with red hair who seemed to be on the run?
I'm afraid not, officer. I've been busy digging around in the reeds for days, looking for signs of insect activity. I'm less interested in mammalian concerns, to be perfectly honest.
The lieutenant takes a short note in his notebook, then gestures for you to proceed.
Tell me about this phasmid you're looking for.
Well, first of all, it's damn difficult to find, which is why we've been knee-deep in the reeds laying traps for it.
What makes it so difficult to find?
Good question. Being a phasmid of the order Phantasmodea, a ghost insect, it disguises itself as plant matter. In this case, the reeds. Awful lot of reeds around, aren't there? And I suspect it may have also developed other specialised techniques to protect itself from predators, or scientists in our present case.
Why are you so interested in this stick bug? Aren't there more sensational animals out there?
Typical rookie assumption. Insects are much more sophisticated creatures than those unversed in zoology give them credit for. Even simply catching a glimpse of the Insulindian phasmid would be the apex of of any cryptozoologist's career. But to study it and its defences, find out how it stayed hidden so long.
He shakes his head.
Would be glory itself.
What have you discovered about it so far?
Very little, I'm sorry to say. No one's ever captured a specimen, so all our information is based on first and third-hand accounts.
So no one's ever found one?
Not yet. That's what makes it a cryptid.
Just out of curiosity, if there's no proof of its existence, how do you know it's real?
I know it's real.
The cryptozoologist says brusquely enough that even he seems taken aback by it.
By which I mean, I've heard enough first-hand accounts to believe quite firmly that the Insulindian phasmid is more than mere superstition.
What makes you think the phasmid is here in Martinaise?
There was a credible sighting here recently. A pair of teenagers described a creature that matched the Insulindian phasmid to an uncanny degree, despite not knowing what it was themselves. It's the first credible sighting in several decades. Admittedly, it's an unusual location for this species, but with all the sewage runoff upstream, it probably doesn't matter much anymore.
Maybe the Insulindian phasmid has died out?
I have to resist the thought. Such an extraordinary creature is doubtlessly highly resilient. After all, it's generally thought to be capable of parthenogenesis.
Got it. Parthenosis.
Parthenogenesis, meaning the females don't need males to reproduce. Makes it easier for a species to survive in adverse conditions.
That's pretty clever.
Yes, the Insulindian phasmid is a very clever insect. That's why it's so damn difficult to catch. But as a scientist, I'll try my best to remain dispassionate.
There's nothing dispassionate about the way he talks about the insect.
Lena seems pretty eager for you to return.
And I'm eager to return to her, I assure you. But I can't leave before we finish with these traps. My wife understands that just as well as anyone.
He looks south, where Lena would be.
Come on, Morale. We've been soaking out here for days. It's time to go back.
And leave the traps? Absolutely not. I won't let Lena down.
Come on, she wants us back. I'm soaked up to my nuts over here. We'll both catch reed crabs if we don't dry out soon.
Won't let Lena down? Sounds like the cryptozoologist's wife shares a special connection to the phasmid somehow.
I didn't know the phasmid was so important to Lena.
Of course it's important to her. She's seen it. A verified sighting, on record. One of only 4 this century, and it's hers.
Really? She sighted the phasmid?
Yes, that's How we first came to know one another, in fact. But that's her story to tell, not mine.
He coughs, then continues.
Needless to say, you must ask her about the mysterious phasmid.
Suffice to say, it's long been our dream to find proof of the Insulindian phasmid together. I can't abandon course now.
Maybe you could go back to the whirling, warm up, come back to check the traps later.
No. The traps need to be monitored on a regular schedule. What would we do if the phasmid were to starve while we were sipping tea at the hostel?
He's dead set on this. I could go for some trap setting.
What if we check the traps for you?
I didn't expect you to take such an interest in our work here, officer.
Chaos is my method. I am its scion.
Well, be that as it may, I'd really appreciate the help.
Where are these traps?
There are 4 in total. One is to the south, on this little peninsula, by the boathouses there. It's very near. Another we set in Land's End, to the northeast. It's behind a small sand dune there, on your way to the old radio tower, after the church. The third is set near the canal, where you crossed, by a concrete slab. A big thicket of reeds going up the slope, and among them, you should check at least one of those before returning to this one, since I just said it. This one's more of a technicality, but still, better safe and stupid than sorry.
That seems like a lot. Do we really have time for this extracurricular venture?
What? Aren't you having fun?
Even relative to examining a weak old corpse, I'm not sure mucking about in the reeds qualifies as fun. But have it your way, detective.
If you think it's important, you have been right before.
What do I do if there's a phasmid in one of the traps?
Bring it to me at once. Just make sure the trap is closed tight.
He's not comfortable with the possibility that you'll claim the find, but he's lying about this even to himself.
What if I encounter the phasmid in the wild?
That's highly unlikely, officer. But in the event you do, I'll spray you with a pheromone mixture I developed. It's made of musk and research chemicals. The pheromone should attract the insect to you, or at least prevent it from bolting at the sight of you. It's quite potent. Will last you about a week.
Lay it on me.
Wise choice.
He douses you with the odd-smelling spray and then gives you a satisfied nod.
This is the smell of dying reeds, of longing crumbling into the water.
I hope you're not buying this. He dispenses it without letting you touch the canister, so it would be precious like holy water.
It is precious. A single dose cost me 50 real to develop. Not that I expect you to understand self-financing one's own research.
He looks at the lieutenant with disdain, then puts the spray back in the pocket. I'm ready. Let's get to it.
Right. Which means you two can pack up and go back to the whirling.
Whatever he thinks about this detour, it's clear that these men are exhausted and in need of assistance.
Finally, someone's talking sense.
Thank you for your help. Gary and I will start breaking down camp. If you have any more questions, now's the time to ask. We'll be gone once you get to it.
I'll get going.
Hello, I'm Gary. Very generous of you to help us out, officer.
How strange. His hair is so much different than his model over here.
Yellow man. I mean, officer.
Oh.
The lieutenant raises his eyebrows slightly and takes out his notebook. Yellow man. That sounds awfully familiar. Something to keep in mind for later.
I'm just waiting for my friend Morel to finish up with his insect traps so we can return to civilization.
I don't want to talk to this guy. Bye. How dare you speak to Kim like that? In front of me? Forget it. Should we end the episode for now? There's so much to explore. Wow. Someone must have worked hard to smash the plastic down. Skill points. Inspect the traps. Southeast. Okay. Well, for now, let's investigate here. Bars cover these long, dusty windows.
The remaining windows rattle from a strong gust of wind. They're covered in a thick layer of grime. They must have been like this for 40 years.
Try to see inside.
Dripping water falls from a high place. All you can see is the shadow of a collapsing staircase.
Lieutenant, can you make out what's inside?
No. I won't even try. You know,
He takes his glasses off.
I had a partner once. They called him Eyes, because he had to show me things. It's that bad.
This partner of his, Eyes, things didn't end well. It saddens him to say his name. Don't even ask. He wouldn't answer. Maybe some other small talk.
Can you still shoot though?
Well enough, actually. It's odd how that works. I'm no sharpshooter, but I passed my shooting courses 7 out of 10.
Cool.
And Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with.
A blond man stands next to his son, pointing to the weather-worn ruins. He sees you approaching and smiles.
You officers, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinaise? I'm Tran Hailostam. You must be Kim Kituragi, right? I was just telling my son about this building. Not a lot of people realize the historic significance here. Very rich in hypertext.
Nice to meet you.
The lieutenant nods. Wait, what was that about the windows before?
Oh yes, so Mikhail. They had to deal with monitor glare, especially in the summer. They still had vector monitors back then. That was 49 years ago. So they didn't have windows on the south wall.
And hold on, hypertext?
Yes, hypertext. Young Carp and the collection of cultural hyperlinks.
He's just making up fancy words. This doesn't mean anything.
You and Kim know each other?
No, I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard of Kim, of course. Mikhail, say hi to the officers.
He rests his hand on the boy's shoulder. The child stays hidden behind the hem of his father's coat, clutching to his worm-themed coloring book.
Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting really into verbs lately.
The man speaks in the artificial cadence of a professor, or someone who's been on too many radio shows.
But I assume you're not here for giant worms when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in '08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark in Revachol West.
He points to the building again.
This man is your half-brother. You feel it. But why?
What's so fascinating about an empty old building?
Aha! But it's not just any empty old building.
He raises his hand to his eyes to shield himself from the pattering rain. All four of you turn to admire the mural before you.
What not a lot of people know is this used to be the R&D department of Felt Electrical. And Felt, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was once a top dog in the turn-of-the-century cybernetics boom.
Hold on. What's R&D?
I don't think I've ever heard of this Feld Electrical.
That's not surprising. Only a vestigial ink cartridge and ferrotape manufacturer remains.
He adjusts his suit jacket.
They started out as a midway electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago. After an aggressive move to Revachol, Feld became a global player in the emerging personal electronics market of the pre-revolutionary era. Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. But Feld had an ace up their sleeve, or should I say they were developing an ace up their sleeve? I'm mixing my metaphors here.
What was that ace?
It was here in Martinaise, possibly in this very building, that they developed prototypes for a tape computer.
A tape computer?
An elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be a take-it-home solution. Revolutionizing business machines, possibly even bring them to the average consumer, which is a feat of engineering even today's giants, Rehm, ICN and ZAM, haven't achieved yet.
He grins, admiring the sentence he just produced.
He assumes something like a combat stance, facing the wind.
What happened?
Indeed. What?
The revolution!
The boy wipes his nose on his sleeve.
Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their assets and expropriated those very advanced prototypes, possibly from this very building, or one of the adjacent ruins. All of this was built by Feld, even the boardwalk. Wild Pines built Martinaise proper as a resort for their middle management. Feld built this side of town for R&D.
You're saying that Feld Electrical built this boardwalk?
Yes, they even built a pleasure wheel, but that got destroyed in the war.
A pleasure wheel?
The lieutenant looks wistfully at the horizon, as if picturing gondolas rising to the sky.
Perhaps reminded of a childhood memory. It's clear he would prefer there were a big wheel lighting up the coast.
Yes, to lure in their star engineers. This part of Martinaise was nothing but reeds before Feld arrived. They had to make the prospect of living here attractive. It was supposed to become a global center for innovation in cybernetics. But history had other plans.
Okay, one sec. I need to change my volume.
But of course, what else? No, thanks to you for having me and little Mikhail here to pick your brain. A very interesting conversation indeed.
Okay, should we get back to asking him the things?
Hello again.
I want to hear about the Feld building again.
Sure, what's on your mind?
What happened to the engineers, the company people?
Oh, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here. Now, if you were to ask about tape computers...
What did the revolutionaries do with those advanced tape computers?
They used them for military communications, but also to write and send out press releases. The most notorious example being Le Décret de Mars. What's the Mars Decree? I mean the radio transmission sent out to news agencies and world governments by the newly created commune of Revachol on the 7th of March in the year 02. It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album, Bom Becer dans le Lind. You should read it. Every local library in Revachol stocks a copy of the decree. I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it. Tried to. Someone was much too interested in worms to be paying any attention.
How did those tape computers work? Did they work like radio computers?
Actually, no one knows. No one even knows what a computer made entirely of tape would look like. But word has it, they were very elegant, exquisite, alien-looking turn-of-the-century hardware.
He raises his finger, remembering something.
10 years ago, I did a little freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for an exhibition at the Womty Dumpty Dum Center in Vredefort, Oranje. It raised the same questions, and we had lengthy discussions with Paul Ockerman, who was head curator at the time. This was before the twins Keith and Guy Jews joined the team, trying to...
Wait, did he just say Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center? He did it. He said Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center, like it's the most natural thing in the world.
Okay, the Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center, Paul Ockerman, Keith and Guy Joost. What are you talking about?
The Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center for Contemporary Art. The exhibition itself drew on Lagerman's notion of memory, and so there were some parallels. That's why the head curator, Paul Ockerman, chose to
You're making this up. Kim, is he making this up?
In fact, I'm not. The Wompty Dumpty Dum Center is a place you can visit if you're ever in Vredefort and are ever in the market for an exhibition space / contemporary art research center. But perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant, fragile even. One could write directly on the tape using a special chemical solution. The machine would then analyze the handwriting, perform operations, and project output onto a white screen. It was a beautiful, delicate thing.
Cool.
Very, very cool. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolutionaries setting fire to this precious device. But so they did. The felt playback experiment vanished into the fires of '07.
Why did the revolutionaries destroy it?
Who knows? Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want the technology to end up in the wrong hands. Either way, they're all gone now. All 3 versions of the prototype. Nothing but debris and ashes remain inside that building.
He takes a step back. The boardwalk creaks mournfully in the wind.
But of course, what else?
Another power box. It charges nothing now. It's empty.
You see a once bright mural towering above you. The signage has peeled off over the years, but you can still make out Feld Electrical R&D.
Step closer.
Above the mural, a collapsed roof, broken windows set in walls that are cracking and will soon also fall, and the coastal breeze rustling and sighing in the remains of the edifice. There's something in the wind. Sometimes the only way to go forward is to fail first.
Could Ruby be in there?
In there? She could. Or she could be in the identical room over there. Or in that boat shack. In that church tower, maybe.
Could I get my shivers up? Just one. Not for now. I'll remember this. Gives me shivers. That was a fad. The fence blocks the path. No way out from here. Something in there. I wonder how we get in.
A metal payphone under a yellow plastic dome. You could use it to call someone, unless you're out of change.
A dead phone, a smashed receiver, like someone hung up too hard. You can imagine why. Calls become terrible sometimes. Whoa. You feel the shadow of a very large building fall on you. Is this a church? The sign reads Sandbrunn 1147. Doesn't look like the church. Dusty pews in the shadows. Many seem to be missing. Well, I guess it is a church. With pews? An altar shrouded in dark, or something like that. It's too dark to tell. Wow.
Heavy wooden doors, more than twice your height, stand shut in front of you. The rectangular sea-worn ornamentation appears in stark contrast to the padlock, carelessly drilled into the wood.
Take a closer look at the padlock.
This cheap-looking padlock is sturdily built. It shackles together a hasp and a staple screwed into the wooden door. The lock is adorned with a yellow sticker. It'll be easier to break the staple than the lock. Also, that sticker is interesting, somehow.
Look at the sticker.
You see a yellow circle with 2 X's and a big curve below them that looks like a mouth. You're pretty sure you haven't seen it before, but what the symbol depicts is clear enough. A smiling dead guy. The curve makes it smile, and the X's make it dead.
Have you seen the symbol before?
He takes off his glasses and uses a blue handkerchief to thoroughly wipe them clean before inspecting the sticker. Then he looks up, pauses, and replies.
No.
What does it look like to you?
Looks like a dead man smiling. Suggests junior delinquency.
What is suggestive of junior delinquency here?
I haven't seen that sticker before, and I'm not a youth.
Inspect the staple.
The padlock passes through a staple that's been hastily attached to the wood. Closer inspection reveals that one of the screws is not a screw at all, but a nail. The work has been done recently and is unprofessional, to say the least. Should you want to get through, it might be easier to just pry the whole thing off.
This is where Mr. Prybar comes in handy.
Maybe we should circle the building first and look for another way. The building has seen enough mistreatment.
There is a touch of guilt in his voice.
Where do you think we should start?
Can you hear the pulsing bass underneath the wind? A sure sign of junior delinquency, somewhere east of here.
No. First, let's get this sticker off.
Your hands are clammy from the sea air.
What?
The piece of sticker keeps slipping away.
Fuck this.
That hurt.
Oh
The
no,
lieutenant looks
shit.
up at the roof of the church, ignoring your little tantrum. The padlock
Fuck,
hits
I'm
the
an
wood
idiot.
like a knocker. With a resounding thud, your cold hand hurts from the impact.
Congratulations. Ugh. Prybar. What is this? Anti-object task force. Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center. It's Wednesday evening and something heinously exciting is underway. People have gathered beneath the billowing roof of an oddly shaped trophy building, sipping wine and exchanging opinions. 29-year-old Wonder Twins Guy and Keith Juice are the stars of the show, with their bomber jackets and white sneakers, head curators of this art exhibition. It's the Wumpty Dum Didomiest event of the year, and all the cool kids have RSVP'd. Where are you if you are not there?
Heavy wooden doors, more than twice your height. You jam the pry bar between the lock and the staple and apply force. Your biceps bulge from the strain. The metal creaks and squeals. The pathetic old wood, rusty screws, and one nail stand no chance against the forces of leverage. From deep within, a bellow rips. Suddenly, the pry bar snaps. Metal shavings fly everywhere. The upper half, between the lock and the staple, falls to the ground with a thunk.
What the fuck? How is this even possible?
Tools break, officer. Try to control yourself.
For example, see how calm I am, although you broke my favorite pry bar.
Look at the broken tool in your hand.
The broken edge of the snapped pry bar is smooth. Took the tip right off.
But is it open?
A bad omen. Beware of this church.
Ugh. I broke the pry bar. Where do I get a new one?
I don't know. You don't? Or maybe we'll find a new one. I don't carry more than one pry bar with me.
He looks up at the bell tower.
I thought this was a lousy way to enter a place of worship that's already in disrepair. I guess the church agreed.
Wrestle the doors to see if they open.
Nothing happens. Only the sound of the padlock rattling against the door.
I don't think that's going to work. Do you think our suspect is hiding inside?
She might be. It's worth checking out anyway.
The lieutenant nods silently.
I want to get inside the church. Oh, wait a second. There's a lot of shit in here. Buzz, hum, The electricity flows through the wires with audible power. Boop, boop. A makeshift roof. Vagrants have tried to make the boardwalk inhabitable. Or habitable. A coin-operated weighing machine hasn't been used for a decade. Clothes?
Someone has left an unidentifiable article of clothing on this railing. It smells really bad.
Take a closer look.
It's streaked with dried seagull shit and tangled with pieces of seaweed. A dangling arm suggests that there might be a jacket beneath the crust of filth.
Please tell me you're not taking that with you.
Why not?
It's a guano-encrusted jacket, and you're already carrying around enough as it is.
I'm taking it.
As you hold it in your hands, it makes an uncomfortable crunching sound.
Man, how did this jacket get so disgusting?
It's a sordid, filthy tale, not for the weak. Are you sure you can stomach it? Some secrets are better left uncovered. Don't even try. Seriously.
Don't think about it then.
Good choice. The less you think about the jacket, the better.
Ugh. Ooh. Mega Binos prescription lenses. Nausea-inducing hell glasses. +2 encyclopedia. Wow. Sure, why not? Vagrants have recently painted the tarp red. Water drips from it. A big wine canister. It's open and empty. Oh, hello?
There's some tear, an empty cigarette package, and a crumpled kebab wrapper in the trash bin.
Examine the cigarette package.
Whoever tossed it here was a heavy smoker. The brand name reads Red Astra.
Examine the tear.
2 empty bottles of Tallulah vodka and a can of black potent porter is all you find.
A tragedy.
The lieutenant looks in the can, eyes watering from the smell.
He shakes his head with genuine sadness.
Examine the kebab wrapper.
You see traces of mayonnaise and ketchup on it, as well as a tomato wedge. The wrapper reads Shish Kebab Revachol.
Okay. Useless canister.
The smell. It's awful and familiar.
What is it?
Don't you recognize it? That hideous pungency, that faintly cloying sweetness. Only death smells like that. Something cold wakes in the pit of your stomach. Fear.
Heads up, Lieutenant. Something's not right here.
The lieutenant has already brought a handkerchief to his nose.
What the hell is wrong? This coin-operated viewer has been out of order for years.
A man lies on the boardwalk, his limbs bent and neck turned at an unnatural angle. Right next to him is an empty bottle of spirits. In his cramped hand, a chewing gum wrapper. Half of his body has slipped between the cracked boardwalk, starting with the right leg. The fall has left him broken, contorted like a sad puppet.
Hold on.
The lieutenant squats next to the corpse and examines his face. 2 bulging eyes stare back at him, void of any signs of life.
Lividity is faintly pronounced. Whoever this is has been dead for 2 days. No longer. We need to investigate.
Another dead body. This is your job. Steel yourself. Calm now. Carefully. Just another day. Just another dead body. Breathe.
Study the man's clothes.
He's wearing mud-caked boots, beige trousers, and an old brown leather jacket with a bright blue lining. There are traces of kebab sauce on his chest. The leather jacket suits him well. It must be custom-made.
Search his pockets.
You find some sunflower seeds and a rain-soaked library card folded into two. His jacket feels sodden and heavy under your hand.
Good. We should take a look at that library card after this is done.
Study the man himself.
The man has fallen through a crack in the boardwalk and hit his head against the metal bench. Coagulated blood covers his black hair. One of his feet is still dangling through the hole. You have to be quite inebriated to fall that bad. Well over a liter of pure ethanol. 3 bottles of wine or 1.5 of spirits.
Examine his face.
His expression is dull, like the sea behind him. Drops of water shining on his mustache. His eyes, empty and wide, look frightening in their frozen gaze. He was confused when he died. Confused and alone, most likely. Overcome with the awful surprise of it all. He was just about to head home. The first step back home proved to be his last.
Study the surroundings.
There's some dried blood on the metal bench, right where the corpse's head rests. The floorboards are rotten and slippery wet around the hole. An empty bottle lies nearby. A chewing gum wrapper is clutched in his fist. Be very, very careful where you step here.
Examine the chewing gum wrapper.
Grabowski spearmint chewing gum. Green leaves on the cover. The man's mouth is half agape from the terror of the fall.
Look in.
The blackness of death. Stench. You think you see white chewing gum too?
He ate the whole pack, right? It's to cover the smell of alcohol before going home. The worst thing is, I've seen it before. Almost the same scenario, even the chewing gum. It's always the same.
In a ditch off a road below the 881, he thinks. A young father. Then he shakes his head to make the memory stop.
Huh. It's like I'm a mind reader or something. Examine the bottle. Or examine the man's head.
A dried chunk of blood covers the hair at the back of his head. An open wound. It's sticky and cold to your touch. This is where he came out of himself, drop by drop, when he was unconscious. It took 3, maybe 4 minutes.
I don't see any other major wounds, do you?
It's hard to say.
Seems like the head wound was fatal. It's exactly the shape of the bench.
Examine the bottle.
A .75 liter Tallulah vodka with its cap missing. There's hardly anything left inside. It's mid-market spirits with a slight touch of menthol. The man meant to enjoy himself, have a good time.
Tear all around us.
He looks at 2 other bottles near the coin-operated viewer, then at your yellow plastic bag.
I'd prefer if you didn't collect them this time. It's not proper.
True. It feels disrespectful.
Step back.
The entire boardwalk creaks in the wind as you take a step back.
What do you think happened here?
Death by misadventure. He slipped and fell through the boardwalk. A truly unfortunate accident. If it wouldn't have been for that bench, he'd be alive.
Do you think he was drunk?
Oh yes.
What about alcohol poisoning and liver failure?
Some symptoms of acute alcohol poisoning could have definitely played a role here. Severe confusion, respiratory depression, unpredictable behavior. But I think that death arrived through head trauma, not liver failure.
Someone should be held responsible for this broken boardwalk. It's dangerous.
They'll seal this place off after the news reaches the coalition officials. I doubt that they have enough resources to actually repair the boardwalk. Not that sealing it off would keep anyone away, All it does is keep the city council's hands clean.
Could it be related to the lynching, Ruby?
No, I don't see anything that points in that direction. For now, let's treat this case as a simple, albeit sad, accident, unrelated to the murder case.
Yes, but what if there's a killer on the loose? 2 suspicious deaths in such a short time frame.
You're right, connecting it with the lynching is a stretch.
Without any further evidence, yes.
Right.
It does seem to be a pretty straightforward misadventure, although there's still a question of identifying the body.
Who is this man, then?
Looks like one of the locals. He'd have to know this spot to come here. You don't just walk over here.
He looks south, the way you came.
But that's just a lazy assumption. What do you think?
At least this man knew how to party. Imagine the same scene without the bottle. Now that would be just sad. This is an omen, a sign from above. Don't start drinking again.
He looks like me. I could have ended up just like him, dead on some empty boardwalk with the bottle next to my corpse.
Well, at least you're not married.
Fuck. Fuck. The lieutenant points at the ring on the man's left hand, the flesh around it swollen gray.
Or, what if you are?
Fuck.
But let's try to not run ahead. For now, all we know is that he's an unidentified middle-aged man found dead on the Martinaise boardwalk.
What should we do with him?
From where I stand, I can see 2 options. We either take the case and follow the leads to identify the body on our own, or we report back to the station and leave this for our colleagues to handle.
Hold on, what about field autopsy?
A field autopsy isn't necessary if the cause of death doesn't appear to be criminal, and this looks like a simple accident to me. I'd say we should just write down head trauma and leave it at that. Let's keep this detour as short as possible. The sooner we get back to finding Ruby, the better.
You're right, I don't see anything criminal here. Let's leave it at that.
Good call. The guys at processing can take care of the rest.
We found him. We should finish this.
Alright, we should first examine the library card you found. Then we can call the station from Martinaise. Let them know we are taking the case.
Dead body on the boardwalk. Ask Ruby in the village. Inspect the mural more. Okay, leave.
The library card is folded into 2 and still slightly wet to the touch. The front side reads, Central Jamrock Public Library Card, issued to Billy Mejean, expires July 53.
Look inside.
Whoever owns this card is an avid reader. You find a list of books written in blue pencil. Radio thriller. Stand a little less between me and the sun. The last one in the list is The Glinton Curve by M. Theobald. A library stamp indicates that the book has been returned. Most of these titles seem to be in the sci-fi genre. Some thrillers too.
Look at the backside.
If lost, please return the card to the library. Dial 005 02 55211 or visit us at Moreau Street, 78, Jamrock. Business hours, 900 to 1800.
Good. We should give them a call from Martinaise. See if we can learn anything about Billy Mejean.
Sure. Moonshine, probably. Smells like tasty fermentation. Let's look at the mural more then.
The once bright mural towers above
Alright,
you. saying, Feld electrical, R and D.
Shivers, 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 shivers. Level up. And get my cloak on.
The once bright mural towers above you, saying, Feld electrical, R and D. Suddenly, all is quiet. There is no cold hand brushing against your forehead, no rustle in the reeds. The wind has died down or gone behind a corner. You only hear distant waves washing the coast.
What was I even attempting to do here?
Trying to talk to the wind, the city, whatever you thought would happen, did not. And now you're just standing there with your hands fallen to your side. A prayer of sorts. To Revachol.
She could be anywhere. How do we find her?
How do we? I was really hoping she'd be in the village. Okay. She's probably north of the village, and this place is a peninsula. We've already talked to the cryptozoologists. Working with them might give us a good excuse to run around, give us some structure. And then there's the church. If I were a murder suspect, I would not hide in the most prominent building here, but who knows? Maybe she's reckless. Anyway, we do it the old-fashioned way, sector by sector. Go over the whole peninsula, ask the locals, enter the places where we can enter first, like we did in the village.
And if that fails, if we don't find her?
Then, if we're desperate, we can look where we can't enter. Bunkers, storm drainage, displays. I'm sure it won't come to that.
He looks behind him, at the dark red box crumbling across the chasm.
Walk the coast, the old boardwalk, the reeds. You can always come back here and talk to the wind again. Look where it already got you. An adventure awaits. An adventure on the windswept urban coast.
Okay, have you seen anyone suspicious?
Hello again.
I'm looking for a suspect. Have you seen anyone suspicious around?
No, I'm afraid I can't help you with this one, officer. It's just a regular day off for me and Mikhail here.
He pats his son's head.
So you haven't seen anyone around?
No, I'm sorry. As I said, this is just a day off. We just arrived anyway.
Suspicious.
There's something friendly and familiar in how he says that. A day off. He's telling the truth. He hasn't seen anyone.
Is he now? I don't trust this guy. Seems too friendly. You should come back here when it snows. A strange feeling. It passes quickly. What about here? What a pretty church. What's this? These rusty gears used to turn the whole machine. The chain trails off into the ocean, to who knows where. This barrel has been recently discarded. It still smells of fuel oil.
An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown a sand dune in front of it. The door hasn't been opened in a long while. You see a handle.
What is this thing anyway?
It's military. A service depot of some sort.
Used to service what?
The washerwoman mentioned a depot up the coast. She said it was for moving ammo and cargo across the bay. This might be it.
Could this structure have been used to take the shot?
From here to the whirling? I can't see how. The church is in the way.
Oh, white polo shirt. Cool. The trap.
There's a trap in the reeds at your feet. Looks like the same one you saw Morel set before. Same mesh, same wiring.
Look around.
The reeds sway in the coastal breeze. They seem to be waiting for something. The wind picks up here, near the cape's end, surrounding the narrow strip of land from 3 cardinal directions. It's cold for this time of year.
Reach for the trap.
Locusts are crawling around in the trap, confused but uneaten. You see no carnivorous reed phasmid gorging on them.
Big surprise. Anyway, 1 down, 3 to go.
It'll be in the next one, surely.
Surely. Anyway, the air is nice and fresh here.
Yeah. Someone's made a campfire here a long time ago. A rusted, broken control box for the radio relay tower. What? A tie! Tiny inlets there, off in the far distance where the posts trail forward. Wait, no, I wanted the map. The church. The coast. Oh, the wheel used to be there. Up in the porch thing. Alright. This ladder is too rusty to climb. The sea air has eaten away at it. We would have to take a boat to get over there. Seems like this. A school of fish huddle around the fence post, then scatter into the dark. A tent? How do we get there? Oh, this way. It must have taken a lot of patience to do this. Alright, should we end for now? Let's end before we speak to her. Alright, that's gonna be enough then. See you later.